to SPR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are previewing the 2013 Belmont Stakes right now with John Pricci, executive editor from HorseRaceInsider.com and racing analyst for Fox Sports 980 AM. We just got finished discussing the three favorites in the race. There's 11 other horses in the race. All of them could be considered long shots, and we're going to find out what he has to say about all of those horses. John Pricci, thanks for being with us.
My pleasure, Peter.
All right, let's just get right into it. 11 other horses besides the three favorites. Which of the other 11 horses have caught your eye for any reason so far?
Well, I tell you, you know what? Palace Malice is the one that caught my eye. What's interesting to him that, there were talks that, this was going to be Dogwood's Derby horse this winter in Florida. And when he finally, made it to the races down there, it was a very rainy afternoon, just as it's expected to be tomorrow, and as it is right now here in New York. And he came on the track. It was a speed favoring track that day, and I thought he did very well to finish second. He finished second to a horse that had more experience than he did at the time. It was a speed favoring track, and he wasn't anywhere, close to setting the pace that day. So, and Todd Pletcher's been talking this horse up, saying that, we wish we can get him to do in the afternoon what he shows us in the morning. But he's been high on him from the very beginning. And as we watched Palace Malice progress, we thought he would. We liked him very much, and and we bet accordingly when he finally got to Louisiana to that Derby, and is making it just a sensational run inside. And I'm waiting for Ed Caprata, who was on him that day. I was waiting for him to sort of tip out a little bit to secure free running room and go around the tiring leaders. But for some reason, he stayed along the inside and got blocked and remained blocked every step of the way. Now we get to the Derby. The next race is the Derby, and I guess Todd wanted him to focus, so he put blinkers on, and makes him zip up and mount. And, let's see how he's going to do with blinkers on. Maybe he's going to focus. Well, he didn't focus. He was a runoff in the race. I mean, he just ran off. He set these extraordinarily fast fractions, was not expected to last, and he didn't. He's continued to train well subsequent to that, and in an effort to get him to relax, Todd Pletcher is taking the blinkers off the horse. Well, here's a stat for you. I was looking at some of the brisk data, and of the 49 horses, the 49 most recent horses, which Pletcher removed blinkers, they won at a rate of 33%. So I think this was a situation where the Derby, believe it or not, is some sort of learning experience for this horse. He decided immediately, right after the Derby, that he's going to give him the 5 weeks of the Belmont so they'll be relatively fresh. And as we stated earlier, he has been working well coming up to this race. And I think with the blinkers off tomorrow, I think he could probably sit a very good trip in there, Peter. I'll say this, I won't take less than 12-1 on it, but anything 12-1 and anything north of that, I think is good value if you don't mind betting against some of the more logical horses, such as Orb.
No, I think that's a great analysis. I completely agree with you. Palace Malice is also one of the horses that has a lot of stamina in his pedigree. And also I read this stat that 12 of the past 14 Belmont winners did not race in the Preakness Stakes. And as you said, that's Palace Malice, also revolutionary, did not race in the Preakness. Then there's another long shot that a lot of people are talking about that I'm kind of like not so high on. That's Will Take Charge. Will Take Charge is kind of like run a worse race each start. And that's not the kind of thing I like to see here. I feel like a lot of people are going to be picking Will Take Charge as one of the outsiders with a chance, but I'm not too high on that horse at all. What do you think?
Well, I know. Well, maybe in that context, maybe people are higher on Wayne Lucas than they are on the horse. He's kind of been touting him. I was at the Belmont draw on Wednesday morning, and he told the assembled media, like, you may want to include him in your superfectas because here's the reason. This horse was running with Orb as leaving about the 5 furlong pole in the Kentucky Derby. He started to make his move alongside of Orb. Now, Orb took the overland route, and he found clear sailing on the outside with Rosario, whereas Will Take Charge ran into a trap. He was steadied, and he tried to get him started again, and it didn't work. And as Wayne explained at the draw the other day, this is a big, long-striding, growthy kind of individual, and those are the kind of horses that you can't stop and go on. You've got to let them, get into their natural rhythm, and then proceed from there. John Court, who rode him to victory at Oakland Park, gets the mount back, and I think it's more out of respect for Wayne than the horse that people are mentioning his name. He is not without a chance. Do I like him? No. Will I be betting on him? No. But will I be shocked if he crosses the finish line first, in that, something has to come off the pace and win because the fraction's going a mile and a half or too strong, and he's one of the ones? Well, that won't surprise me in the least.
Right, absolutely. And like we've mentioned, there is a 60% chance of rain at Belmont this weekend, and so it's probably going to be, it could be a quite muddy track. It might be only a little bit muddy. Golden Soul and Freedom Child are two horses that have done well historically in the mud. If it is a muddy track, how will that change your overall perspective on the Longshots in the race?
Well, everything we talked about, Peter, I took with the consideration of a wet track in mind. Now, it's still raining here in New York. We're going to get heavier rains this evening, possibly another inch or two. And, you're right. It may stop. It is supposed to stop raining by midday tomorrow, by around noontime. And that could be a fly in the ointment. Mm-hmm. The racetrack right now is sealed. It was rolled last night and sealed, so there's no water that's going to be able to get through right now. And the surface will be packed down pretty firm. So if that's the surface you get tomorrow, nothing will change for any of these horses.
All right, now before we move on to matchup props and general betting value, what kinds of things would you look for in terms of reports on the track that would make you more or less likely to lean towards a favorite or a long shot?
Well, I think what you want to do is just study the results of the races as they go by.
Okay.
The trends will become apparent.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a speed favoring track, you'll be able to see that. If horses that look like they can't lose make a rally up the rail and just stop in their tracks, and you see that once or twice, then maybe you can assume that the inside part of the track is not good. So you'll be looking for the horses that are likely to make their moves running outside.
All right. Great info and input. John Pricci from HorseRaceInsider.com. Now let's move on to general betting value and my favorite way to bet these races, Triple Crown races, matchup props.